about split 50% market share with Airbus. Very competitive market currently. They have approximately I think it's over now, 170,000 employees in 70 countries. They have two different business units. They got the Boeing commercial airplanes, which is your 737, 747, 777, 787. Then they have the Boeing Defense, Space and Security, which is your Apache helicopters, your anti-submarine planes, the P-8 Poseidon, the F-18 Hornet, and more. I was placed in Renton, Washington, which is the production site of the 737 airplanes, from 600 all the way to 900. When I was up there, we were currently producing 42 planes a month, so very fast-paced. Here are my working hours, various benefits. I worked 6 to 2:30, 40 hours a week, flexible. I got 40-minute lunches, 30-minute were unpaid. I got 10 minutes that were paid. Overtime was approved with manager approval. The wages exceeded the MECOP baseline that's set. I got paid holidays, dress code. I showed up the first day actually overdressed and got kind of laughed at by some of the coworkers. They're like, don't come in, they're wearing that tomorrow, come in jeans and just a collared shirt because you're going to be down on the floor a lot. You don't want to get your nice clothes dirty. Great benefits. I was there and they offered me full medical and dental. First day you start, you get 40 hours of vacation time. You also accrue 8 hours a month in sick leave. The vacation time, they will pay out if you do not use it through your 6 months there. Just add it on to your wage. Also have a 401k plan that is available to interns. They fully take advantage of that, matching contribution. SPIA union represented, so you're in a union, you got SPIA dues that you will pay. You also get relocation compensation. Get relocated up in that Puget Sound area, Everett, Renton, they will compensate you for relocating up there for your 6 months. They have courses that are for on-the-job learning and manufacturing discipline. 60% of my work was on my desk, and the other 40 was I was down on the factory floor working with the mechanics, seeing how the airplane goes together. And then they also offer a lot of great incentives, awesome tours. They take you up to Everett and go up and see one of the biggest manufacturing plants up there for the 777 and 787, also the 747. This is kind of overview of some of the projects I got to be involved with. Just for time purposes, I'm not going to go into all of them. So the three there, I'll kind of highlight and give you a little overview of what I got to do. First one here is caropoly investigations. Basically, we have a team that's met every morning. Cars are corrective action reports. Basically, you have something on the floor that is occurring out of tolerance, not getting put together correctly. We have a team of liaison engineers, myself, process engineers, and then quality and assurance investigators. We get together, talk about what's going on, what new stuff has come up, and then we kind of have a big board in the conference room where we first meet, and we kind of use that to track. Every day we have certain things we talk about, updates that are going on, new ones that come in, and then it says right there the plan. The initial plan is understanding as a whole team the problem. Basically, that includes the three of us going down to the floor, seeing what is going on. Is it a supplier issue? Is it something we're doing? Is it a process problem? Is it something we need to improve on? Then we go into the investigation plan, which is we document kind of, we call it a foursquare. We kind of document some of the stuff that's going on. Activities that need to be taken to define the root cause of the problem. And then we go down to the solution plan, kind of similar thing. I can do some more investigation, talking to different people, mechanics on the floor, some of the manufacturing engineers that are down there with the product all the time. What are some of the root causes that we ended up ruling out, and then we usually try to narrow down the list. At that point, then we can kind of decide, is it something we need to charge to the supplier, contact them, figure out what's going on, or just something internally that we need to take care of. This was another project I'm going to be involved in. This was an upper aileron shim process change. I was given the chance to come up with a written. Yes.
One quick question.
Go for it.
Were issues coming up like daily, or was this more like a weekly or monthly type?
I wouldn't say we had corrective action reports that came up every single day. I would say probably in a week if I have 3 or 4 new ones that would come up. But some of them were long-term projects. So we were updating constantly. There was changes being made, updates to report out to the team. So it kept us busy. And like I said, we met every morning to discuss different things.
Okay, but it wasn't like there was a new issue every single day on the floor or something.
Not every day, but usually, like I said, we were kind of the bigger ones. Obviously, some of the smaller ones we could take on ourselves to investigate, but some of the larger issues that needed multiple eyes on it is the ones that we dealt with mostly. These are more just preventing us from getting the plane out of the shop and into the customer's hands, stuff like that. And any of you feel free to go ahead and interrupt me if you have any questions along the way. Okay, back to this. I was given the task of creating a business case. Basically, they wanted to find a way to save money on the current process. They were using let's see. I don't believe I know what the material was. I think it was like a fiberglass shim they were placed on these little rib posts here, and they were being charged way too much money. So they had me investigate how can we maybe save some money on that. Went down. I got to go down on the floor, spend about a week and a half with the mechanic, learning exactly what he's doing. Is there something we can do? Or ultimately came up with changing the shim. Went to a nylon shim. At 20 shims per airplane. They're used on every 737 that's manufactured there. As you can see at the bottom, this ship savings here. That's savings of $840 per airplane. This process was able just to change the material type, and these created in-house. These were currently coming from a supplier, just in rectangulars, and then we were happy to show on their side, measure, and then cut them and drill the holes manually. The new process changed other than just making them nylon. They were going to be done internally on a router cell. So I would save some of the money there. Here's kind of currently how the process is. He's using obviously the shims that come to measure, get depth measurements, then using drill jigs here to drill the holes. Obviously there's, aside from the cost savings, there's a ergo safety issue there. Obviously really close to his toe, probably not the best practices there. So that's just something I got to bring up in my business case to allow this project to go through. When I left there, they were currently in the process of implementing this, so I passed the business case. I just didn't get to give them long enough to see it go through.
I was going to ask, why was it the CNC putting those holes in there?
Yeah. That's what we're changing. Third project here. This was a big one. I had to just take a little piece of it. This is kind of the farthest outboard end of the wing. This is where the winglet will be attached to there. They had a problem with misfire, out of tolerance. This is at the very end of the line, just before the wing's getting ready to go out. And the actual installation of the rib was happening farther down line, and it was only showing up here due to some of their processes. And so it was causing a lot of rework, a lot of extra hours, and we were given the task to kind of investigate and come up with a solution as to what was going on there. Here's currently the rework that takes place. They have to basically take off that whole backup fitting, disassemble the rib. You got a lot of mess and time here. So this is a big one. Me and the team decided to, actually before I get ahead of myself, I was basically in charge with We kind of believe that there was some spar growth happening. These two spars, there's front and rear spar that make up the wing component. They were kind of having this issue they saw in history that due to the weather, you were getting some spar growth. It goes into the ASAT machine, which drills holes very early on, and by the time it gets to where they install this rib, they were seeing growth as in this way. And basically, I was in charge to go down and measure and see if that was exactly what was going on. Did a lot of research and measuring different components as they were from the beginning to all the way at the end. And this is kind of some of the results that came up. As you see in the very beginning, that was one of the measurements that was taken from it. And then at the end, when it was sitting in storage, ready to be done, I mean, when we're dealing with airplanes, we're talking about really tight tolerances. And when you have over 1/10 of an inch or 1/10 of an inch growth, that's a problem. So one of our implementations was we created a little block here and some plates. This was something I got to be involved with in designing CATIA. We were hoping to limit the spar growth by putting in some bolts there and basically squishing it together before the seal, while the seals are drying, so you keep everything together. And then when the seal dries, it becomes rock hard and you're not moving the dang thing. And we designed one of these for left and right hand. This is kind of we actually 3D printed this, came up with the initial design and did a 3D print on it. And this is us testing it actually out on the floor. This is before any clamp was going on. This block was measured at what the tolerance was of the spar cord. And as you can see, it's obviously out of tolerance. And this is what's clamped up, so it minimized the gap. When I left there, they had to go ahead and start introducing this onto the shop floor. So they were going to start mass producing these.
One question about
Yep.
3D printing, is there shrinkage allowed? So, after you make a part of whatever this base material is, suppose it doesn't hold that design shape, so there must be some sort of adjustment factors you put into the printing.
Actually, for the most part, for some of the 3D printing, this is ABS plastic. It was for this being, a tooling thing. It was okay. We didn't have to have as tight tolerances. We just had to be in range because ultimately we're just trying to hopefully control some of the spar growth happening. One of the tours I got to do, the 3D printing technology when I was there, I didn't know how advanced it is. They actually have some 3D printers there that I got a tour there they're actually making metal parts. It starts as a metal powder form. And I think, I want to say the F-15 has some plastic HVAC tubing that's currently being used on production in our 3D printed parts. So that's a huge opportunity they've been talking about trying to introduce, and with FAA regulations, they're kind of suckers for that kind of stuff. So I mean, the technology is there. Yeah, I think it's just going to continue to get better and
Those
better.
must be some massive 3D printers.
This one particularly, no, they do it in layers. I think this one had, I don't know, a table probably about that big.
That's it. That part just looks way too huge. Maybe it's just the angles or something. But that looks like a dude standing next to that piece that looks massive.
Yeah, the part was probably, I don't know, about that tall.
Oh, okay.
So, and then some of these, obviously we use some of these holes for clamping, but some of the other stuff was just to try to reduce the material. That ABS plastic can get expensive, especially when you're making, these are solid
And then,
blocks.
is there any other mediums that they can use in that technology besides ABS? Can they use like different kinds of
Oh yeah, they got all kinds, they got different colors. I'm not real familiar on the other materials. Like I said, they got
like a polycarb or anything like that?
yeah, and like I said, they got different metal, like starts as a powder.
Yeah, where they just powder and then you kind of break it apart, then you cook it and
Yep.
it melts. Yeah.
So this is the only one that we had. They were actually doing a trial run for our group to see if it's something that, you know, they need to purchase for our group that we could be doing mock-up parts on. So we were just using it kind of to test it. Obviously, we took this to manufacturing, and then they kind of decided, you know, do we need something a little bit more rigid? We need to make this out of metal. The nice thing about 3D printing, you can get a lot of crazy different surfaces and shapes that with a lot of machining operations, it's difficult to do. When you're dealing with airplanes, especially the wings, you got some interesting surfaces. This was a difficult thing to model with all the obscure surfaces on it. Just some other things I got to experience. Some summer fun. We got a great REACH program. MECOP is not the only interns they have. They actually have an internship program through Boeing, and they're only usually 3 months. And they have interns from all over. I was meeting and hanging out with people from Michigan, engineers from Michigan, New York, all over. So they do this REACH program. It's through your first 0 to 5 years. They kind of do little events and do happy hours, bonfires down at the beach, little events, try to get everyone out together and mingle, meet some people, kind of people in your situation. I went up there. I've been up to the Seattle area, Puget Sound a couple times, but no family, no friends up there. Just went out on my own. So that was a great program to take advantage of, to kind of be with people in the same situation as me. The tours, awesome tours. Take advantage of those if you guys get placed there. You can see the Dreamliner tour, all the different customer options. They actually have customers that fly into that site, pick their interior, their different lighting, flight simulator. Got to actually go into and fly a 777, experience that. That's actually they use training on some of the pilots. Everett plant, and then got to see an old Southwest fuselage they're using for some testing. Got various classes that is at your disposal there, Ed Wells classes. My manager was great. Any classes I wanted to take, she gave me the right to go ahead and take them, anything I wanted to learn. Dinners, movies, downtown Seattle, networking with different interns, got some volunteering opportunities, and then some other events. Take advantage of a manager was really good on telling me to do informational interviews. She would set some of them up and then ask me to go and seek some out, meet with different people from around the company. Actually got to meet, I think, the assistant CEO, got to sit down with him, just talk about different stuff, where he started out, how he got to where he was. That was a great opportunity. So other things, Seafair, Puget Sound area, and then hiking Mount St. Helens, Mount Rainier. Some of the things I got to do when I was up there. Some things I got to learn while I was up there. The system, got a basic overview of how the 737 is put together in final assembly. I was there's 2 plants in Renton. I was in the airframe or wings, so I didn't get to actually see much of the plane get put together. So I was just doing mostly the wing components. Fundamentals of flight, manufacturing of airplanes, terminology, a ton of acronyms. You know, where everything is acronyms up there. RCCA, root cause corrective action, and Boeing 5-step problem solving model. One of the biggest ones that I learned from this one, problem solving, follow every lead to its end. Make sure to gather as much information as possible about the issue. Designing for ergo and safety, importance of high quality work and processes, time management, setting a priority on your projects. Got multiple things going on, it can be overwhelming at times, so knowing which ones you should spend most of your time on. This is just kind of a little comparison. Both internships. My first one was at Daimler, second one was at Boeing, Renton, Washington, Portland, Oregon. Boeing, I was manufacturing engineering. Daimler, I was with the engineering systems vehicle integration group, which is engineering. At Daimler, most of my time was spent at a desk. No overtime versus manager approved overtime. One of the big things that I liked about Boeing, it's great interest in development of employees. A lot of opportunities out there. take advantage of those. A lot of the times I was working and then I was taking advantage of classes, so a lot of good opportunities. Holiday pay, great insurance. Like I said, Bummer, they had holiday pay, but they didn't offer any insurance as an intern. Boeing is one of the largest employers of engineers in the Pacific Northwest as well. The only down thing being out there that I didn't know, cost of living, very expensive, and I think the traffic's bad up here. Wait till you're up there. Terrible, often.
So could you live close, could you afford to live close to your plant or where you were working?
I was actually, like I said, I worked in Renton. I lived in Kent, Washington, and it was about a 20-minute drive.
Yeah, Kent's a different, I don't know, just, yeah, Kent's like the difference between Tigard and Oregon City.
Yeah. It was a little, like I said, I was wanting to get the whole, Seattle experience. Got looking, I'm like, yeah, look how much rent is up here. I can't afford that, so that's why I ended up going. I actually got with another, I don't know if you guys know him, Dimitri Green. He's in the MECOP program. He'll be doing a second one. His first one was that one, so I actually roomed with him, so that was nice. That's all I have. So anybody have any questions?
So how did you take class when doing going internship?
What's that?
How did you take class during going internship?
I did not take classes when I was up there. I took the spring term off.
No, but you said that Boeing offered classes.
Oh, classes? Yeah, they're not like actual classes for credit. They're at no cost. It's just for your own, want to learn. I came in not really familiar with the aerospace industry, knew nothing about it. So I was really intrigued and wanted to kind of know. I know I had a basic idea what drift, drag, that kind of stuff was, components. So they had classes, some of them are offered during work hours. So those need manager approval. You need paid for them if you attend those, and a lot of them are offered out of work hours. So I was going to class like at 6, like a 4-hour class. I had nothing better to do. I didn't know anybody up there. So, do you have a question?
Yeah, do they build the F-18 Super Hornet? Or do they just build the F-18 Hornet?
It's just the Hornet. I'm not real clear on it.
Like, yeah, well, the Hornet's the one like the Blue Angels fly. And the Super Hornet's like the one that they deploy out to the Navy.
I'm not sure. I don't want to take the wrong thing.
That's okay.
Could be.
It's just a lot bigger plane.
Okay.
Carries more payload.
What kind of work what is the partitioning of work that's done in Portland?
From what I understood, Portland is trying to think of how to word it, giant machine shop. Basically, they make a lot of small parts that they end up shipping up to Everett, Renton. So most of the bulk of Boeing is in Renton and up in Everett. As far as, I think I remember, I think there was maybe 5 or 6 through the MECOP program that got placed in Portland. So, but like I said, one of the nice things, I was kind of looking at it, oh man, I got to go relocate up there. They definitely make it worth your while. Like I said, they compensate you for moving expenses.
Did they pay you a lot for the moving cost?
They treat you pretty well.
Are you allowed to disclose what income you made? Or you not feel comfortable? Because I'm not wanting to pry if you're not feeling comfortable or ask not to share.
I never got a yes or a no on that. That's one of those things for me personally, I don't like to discuss. So I don't know. I'm sure you guys are aware of the baseline that's set for this internship.
Isn't it like 15 to 25?
It changes. The last time I knew it was at 18
Okay.
an hour, and it was significantly more an hour with them. I can say that. Daimler, they started me at, for my first internship, they started me at the 18 an hour.
So would you rather work for Boeing or Daimler, like if you have the chance?
I mean, both great companies. When I was up at Boeing, got fortunate enough to be in coworkers that were there 20 some years. So they gave me a lot of insight to what's kind of going on up there. A lot of opportunities. A lot of people are going to be reaching that retirement age. Great time to be. They'll be looking for employees up there. Great. Very quickly, from what I was told. Ultimately, I can't say that because I didn't get an offer from them after my internship. There is an option the Boeing does offer you if you go up there and they enjoy your work hard. They can put you on educational leave of absence, which means you go back to school. You're technically still an employee there. Go back to school, graduate. They have a job for you. You're basically at a job waiting for you as soon as you're done with school. That was discussed at the end of my internship. Personally, due to some of my own personal circumstances, I politely declined for the time being. Was fortunate enough to have Daimler contact me right after. And like I said, I'm currently working with them and going to school.
Now, when they hired you full-time, did they offer you a lot better pay than when you were an intern?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
actual insurance benefits.
Yep, all the perks of that. So,
Did you get a signing bonus with either of these companies?
as far as for being an intern,
Yeah.
no. Nope. From what I understand, the MECOP looks at this as an opportunity for you as a student to grow, learn, beyond the industry. That was one reason I chose to do the MECOP program, because I came in to school based. I had no experience with the engineering field, so I could put that on a resume. I got a whole year with the 2 internships. Put that on the resume. That's experience.
That's cool.
So that was the main, the pay and a lot of the other perks of that was just bonuses to me.
It gives you an opportunity to see what you like to do too, maybe you get into